What do you do when you find yourself faced with injustice? Do you follow the law? Or do you take the law into your own hands? Or throw the law away entirely? My name is John Adams. I have been asked that I request of you to subscribe, like, and to tap the small unbroken liberty bell down and to your right. My appreciation. Meanwhile, 1765 was the epocha of the Stamp Act, and as far as epochas go, it was terrible. There is a great deal of detail to the Stamp Act. I understand there is an accompanying article nearby. But suffice to say that the British Parliament determined that they should recoup some of their debt from the 7 Years' War by taxing those of us who were closest to it. In this particular instance with the Stamp Act, a tax through stamped paper, and in the case of my career as a lawyer, legal documents. Courts were not permitted to even entertain requests for hearings if the documents accompanying them did not have the official stamp upon them, leaving many people without justice. As you can imagine, there was a great deal of anger and discontentment throughout the colonies, particularly in Boston. And on the day of August the 14th, two very differing approaches were met. My cousin Samuel and the Sons of Liberty saw to it that they should accost and apprehend the distributor of the stamps, Mr. Andrew Oliver. They took him on a very unceremonious pageantry throughout the town, taking him to a liberty tree and essentially forcing him to swear an oath that he would no longer enforce the stamps. I am no great admirer of mob violence as a means to an end, so I and some of my colleagues took the less exciting but more practical approach. We went to court. I, along with Jeremiah Gridley and Samuel Otis, made our presentation to the courts of the absurdity and the futility of the Stamp Act. As I said later in my Braintree instructions regarding the Stamp Act, we have reason to think that the execution of that act for a short space of time, considering the present scarcity of money, would drain the country of its cash, strip multitudes of the poorer people of their property, and reduce them to absolute beggary. Unfortunately, neither approach saw immediate results. Andrew Oliver did not remove himself from the post of distribution of stamps until December of 1765. Somewhat sooner than that, however, the superior courts and the courts of common pleas determined that they should permit unstamped documents to be allowed in legal proceedings, until the Parliament had further addressed the issue. It was a small victory, but it was a success nonetheless. Even though the Stamp Act would continue in effect for nearly a year, one will take the success one can get. And it is as I have said before, facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes or our inclinations or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the states of facts or evidence. So I would say to you, if there is anything to which you hold objection, look to the evidence and hold fast to it before you run off on any sort of less respectable approaches. Thank you, and good day to you.